fanboys and fangirls. Welcome back to another episode of What the Fanboy Show. Tonight, over to my left. Usually I have two people to my left, but tonight it's just one person, and it's Luke.
To me. What's up?
And to my right, our special guest, Easton.
Hello, I didn't mean to steal your spot. You
could
have told me to sit there.
No. I wanted you to be able to feel like you had
room.
Like when Tyler's here, I don't care about just squishing him in here, but like if we have a guest, I want you to feel like you can stretch out.
I can get out if I need to.
If you need
that's
to escape,
what it is. Okay,
make a quick escape. Absolutely, that's what it is.
He actually just wants to sit in the middle. He's jealous of Tyler every week.
Every week, I can't.
I'm tired of. I'm really jealous of having to do the swiggle around the mic.
I won't lie. It's kind of nice to be on the end and always be able to talk kind of into the mic. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little nervous about turning and talking to Luke, so I'm just gonna look with my eyes. My head's gonna be awkwardly turned over here. But anyways, we're back. This week we are talking about The Mandalorian Season 3. It won't be a breakout episode. It's just gonna be a part of our show, kind of our main review, and we'll talk about Ghosted a little bit later. But before we get into The Mandalorian Season 3, Luke, you got the list of trailers over there, my man.
I have two.
Okay. Hey, two's better than none.
The first one that I know you're just so excited for.
Drumroll,
I'm pretty sure this is your most anticipated movie of 2024. Godzilla X Kong. The New Empire. Let's go!
I'm glad people are happy about this.
They are?
Luke is.
Hold on.
Luke and Tyler both were like, they maybe.
Dude, it's a giant lizard and a giant gorilla fighting.
We've lost the spirit of Godzilla, though.
That is true. And also, the last movie spent way too much time not with monsters fighting and having kids be secret agents. So.
Secret. Hey, if I learned anything from the last Godzilla vs. Kong movie, it's that we as podcasters can be
make a difference.
Professional espionage.
Yeah. That's fair.
Members of that elite group and get into, I don't know, it probably wouldn't be that hard to get into like Twitter these days, but
yeah, I guess you just have to turn to a conspiracy theorist podcast. Definitely the lane you want.
I feel like there's enough of those. What is there more of, conspiracy theorist podcasts or movie podcasts? Which tiny niche do we want to throw our opinion into?
Exactly. So no, I'm not, entirely excited about this movie. The teaser trailer was like sideways thumb, I guess.
It was 20 seconds.
It was nothing.
It was hard. It's hard to give.
It was it's not even a teaser, and it's an announcement trailer.
That's fair.
You just saw him on the throne, which is what the last movie ended on, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. It was like
that was not Kong though.
It was. It would be a skinny boy Kong. Look, maybe he'd been working out, hitting the gym.
So he's just skinny. I thought it looked like the Beast Titan from Attack on Titan with just really long arms.
It reminded me of like the Planet of the Apes, Koba.
Dude,
is that
honestly? I don't know if Godzilla and Kong could take Koba. I'm just being honest. Dude was a real one.
Koba was a real one. Oh sure. But yeah, that's a movie that's coming out. So
I know you hate all those movies, but I think they're so much fun, even in their badness. So I'm super excited.
I'm glad you're excited, Luke.
I'll just double my excitement since you have none.
Sweet. Thanks for covering for me.
I got your back.
What's the next one? You said you had two.
The other one I have is a game trailer, and I'm a little sad Tyler's not here to talk about this. But we got a teaser trailer for The Division Heartlands.
That's right.
And Tyler is our resident Division player.
But it's not bad that I sat in, because I've played both games.
I played the first one.
Really loved the first one.
First one is great.
Thought the second one dropped off a little bit. But we'll be super excited to try the new one.
Yeah.
I think they've all had very interesting stories and fun single player.
Yeah.
But
And I love the concept of the first one and how it kicks everything off. The cool thing about this one is, like, the girl in the trailers from Kansas. It's like, yeah, we finally got some representation besides Superman.
I feel like
We got Dorothy
I love how that's
and
what you're
Superman.
excited about.
well, we got Ted Lasso too.
That's right.
Okay,
That's-
Kansas is making a comeback. They were in The Last of Us as a anarch group.
Oh, was that Missouri though? We don't really know.
It was Kansas City. Still,
It was no. You know what? It was Kansas because everything in that episode where they're at is crap. And Kansas City, Kansas, is the crap section of Kansas City.
Well,
I'm
wow.
just being honest.
Luke's trying to alienate all of our Kansas City fan base right now.
I've been there. You know.
Sorry. Being like, I'm from Kansas and I've been to Kansas City is like, I go to school and I've been to the cafeteria. Okay. Yeah, because where else are you going to go?
Kansas City, Missouri. You have to get to Kansas City, Missouri. You have to go through Kansas City, Kansas. You lock the doors on your way through Kansas City, Kansas.
All right. Easton, I think you had said before in the pre-show that you had a trailer that you watched.
oh, White Man Can't Jump
White Man Can't...
remake.
Oh, I remember a teaser or a...
I got a full trailer with Jack Harlow as the white man who can't jump.
Right.
I don't know. Actually, looks interesting. I actually have not seen the one with Woody Harrelson, so I probably should. But I don't know. This looked funny. It's just supposed to be a comedy. I don't really care for Jack Harlow, but we'll see how it goes. I don't listen to his music, but I mean, sounded funny enough. So I don't know if you like 2K Street Basketball, then this movie's for you.
I'm an NBA Street Volume 2 kind of guy, but gotta go for that game breaker. I didn't watch the trailer. I saw it, and I just kind of scrolled by it. I don't really have a whole lot of interest. Mainly because of Jack Harlow.
That's fair. I think I saw it on, I don't know if it was a movie trailer, because I saw quite a few movies like at the theater this last week. So I don't know if it was one of those, or if it just popped up on my YouTube. I can't remember.
Isn't it a Hulu original, too?
I don't remember that being the case, but if it is dope, that just means you don't have to go to the theaters to watch what seems to be just a fun comedy.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for.
All right. Cool. Over in the chat, Baroque seems to agree. The Kansas Speedway up in Kansas City is apparently garbage, which I assume is French. No, I know it's not French, but he's corrected himself. Garbage. Kansas Speedway is
Really?
I like garbage.
That's surprising.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a
I grew up in the
racer,
area.
so-
The Legends area is great. You've got the
The
Kansas
Legends-
Sporting.
The Legends, the Sporting and
Yeah,
the
Sporting
the
KC
Legends
right there,
areas
and you
does
got the
seem to be
Speedway.
a little nicer. These
Everyone likes the
days.
Speedway.
So.
Guess what? The Royals suck. They're about to move to Kansas, so
They are?
they made a full.
They need more tailgating room for Chiefs games?
No, I think I mean, we don't have to get into it too much, but they just want to beef up Kansas City area and make it more like people want to go there, and that's
It's a destination. It needs to be a destination.
Well, they have to make it look better for when the World Cup shows up.
yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, the problem is
be trying hard to get tickets.
they want this $2 billion complex for a team that sucks so bad. It's like you're not going to draw people in if you're uncompetitive.
He's let me know. Baroque's let me know.
It was a joke.
It was a joke.
See, I knew it. I was like,
Okay.
there's
Okay.
no way my NASCAR guy here was going to say that Kansas Speedway sucks. I was like, I had so many people that went there and said it was fantastic. I don't like racing, so I've never been, but
So what I'm hearing is if you're into racing, go check out the Kansas Speedway.
Sprint Center is also on the Kansas side.
And
So all the sports things are cool, but everything else, not.
Yeah.
Look, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, Kansas City, Kansas does have, or Kansas City, Missouri does have the Union Center and stuff like that, or Union
Power and Light
Station,
District.
Power and Light District. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of really cool stuff, but I also don't party, so that stuff doesn't. I don't care about that stuff. I'd rather go to
Doesn't pique your
Big
interest
12
there.
championship.
My name is
and-
Rod, and I don't party. This has been our review of Kansas City.
Yeah, well, let's move on over to Mandalorian Season 3 then. We'll talk about the finale specifically, but we also want to make sure we kind of review the season as
Oh my
a
goodness!
whole.
Lance Reddick's in White Man Can't Jump. R.I.P.
R.I.P. indeed.
Sorry.
You're fine. What did you guys think of the finale? Chapter 24, The Return.
Who returned? I'm sorry. Like
that is fair. Yeah.
Over the last couple weeks, I've been really getting caught up on the names
The
of the
names.
episodes.
Yeah.
Like the last one was called The Spies. Who was the spy? Was it just the hologram people at the beginning? They're not spies. They're just working. Was it the people we spent 5 minutes with, except for that entire episode that wasn't that great? Like, I didn't get the name. And then this one is The Return, and the only person that returns is 11 or 12 or whatever. Just like
It's the Mandalorian's triumphant return to Mandalore.
Yeah, that makes a little. Yeah.
It's look,
but they already went back.
You're taking it too literally.
No, they returned it to form. Now they overtook it. Now that
after they dropped a ship on it.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to destroy in order to create.
I think that's what villains say before they nuke stuff.
Break a couple eggs, make an omelet. Yeah, okay. So other than the title, I still haven't gotten a real vibe.
Honestly, I thought it was a mess.
Vibe check from Luke is that it's a mess.
It's a mess.
Easton?
I enjoyed the last, really, 2 episodes. But yeah, the last episode I enjoyed.
I'll say this.
I thought it had a good action piece to it. And I thought Mando felt like Mando. And I liked that part of it. Grogu was a little...
Mary Sue?
Yeah. But he's always been that. So...
But you're not allowed to complain about it because he's a male.
Because he's a baby. He's a little baby.
Only girls.
Yeah, get the Mary
we can complain about. No, like there's stuff that I'm like, that is cool.
Yeah.
I just think there's a real fall in execution this season, kind of all the way around. Like the idea of this jetpack battle. Like with Bo-Katan flying around with the Darksaber and they're shooting people and it's like a dogfight but with jetpacks.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that well done. Like we'd zoom in really far and it'd be like this awkward close swing and then we'd see the CG aftermath of it and just be like, okay. Like, and I know that like that's a restriction of TV.
Yeah, this is definitely. I think the action pieces, while they were good, I could feel the effect of the TV budget more than some, just because of the scale, right? Like it's a big fight. There's lots of things happening, and it looks good for the most part. But then when you're editing it all together, you're not going to be able to afford these, big 30-second takes of the...
I'm usually pretty critical of Star Wars content because it's like my favorite franchise of all time. But I do think that a lot of Star Wars does tend to get a little... There's some goofy aspects to some of their action.
Sure.
And I think I'm like, it's not outright goofy, but they kind of have that... I thought it kind of had that feel to it in that big jetpack fight.
Yeah.
Like, it did make sense that they would just have a bunch of jetpack fighters because they're going to face a bunch of Mandalores, so you just know that you have to have some sort of fight against
Level the playing field.
And like, yeah, some of the kills were a little goofy and stupid, but that's, I mean, the way Boba Fett died in Return of the Jedi is kind of goofy and stupid. He gets hit by a pole and falls into a Sarlacc pit. I mean, it's always been kind of goofy, so I didn't really mind it that much. The only thing I really disliked is just how strong they make Moff Gideon feel. I feel like it's not earned.
I hate Moff Gideon so much.
Okay.
I think he's an awful villain.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone then, because I didn't know how. Because I actually liked him kind of in season 1.
Well, he's in the last episode.
Yeah,
which is it's great. It was a great reveal. It's like, oh, this is gonna be the bad guy moving forward, and then he's kind of in season 2.
He's not bad in season 2.
When Luke shows up and he's like scared of him, great moment. But in this season, he's just a monologuing villain.
I think they just have a hard time like figuring out what kind of villain they wanted him to be. Like you can have a villain that's just like a commander villain, like what you get with in Rogue One. I can't think of his name.
Krennic.
Yeah, if you had him in a fight, you'd kill him 9 out of 10 times, easy peasy. But it's his feel that makes him feel like a villain. Yeah, because he commands his force in such an evil and disgusting way that makes him feel daunting. And that's what I felt like with Moff Gideon at season 1. And then they tried to change him into like a Mandalore armor like
Mech
killer.
suit. He was in a mech suit.
Yeah, and it just didn't fit. I'm like, that. Have somebody else be your like main big bad that you just bring in as a brute, but that's not. I mean, they kind of had that with the Dark Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the dope. Like, Moff Gideon doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
Just send out the Dark Troopers.
You just have this.
Yeah.
These 5 or 6, this squad.
Yeah.
It's like they're not Praetorian guards, but you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, that was the only thing I really disliked about the episode was just how powerful they made him feel when it didn't feel earned at all. His armor was kind of cool, but still didn't really like it.
I think for me, it's a fine episode. I'm probably in between you two, literally and figuratively here with what we're talking about. I liked overall what the episode was trying to do. I thought the action was decent, except for the stuff with Grogu. But I didn't think that the themes that the season tried to wrap up with really were and this is it's not necessarily a episode 8 problem, it's an episodes 1 through 7 problem where they did not set things up to be a satisfactory conclusion here in episode 8.
Well, Mando's arc ended at the beginning of episode 3.
Well, yeah,
there was nothing else to do.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll talk more about that. We can talk when we get into the kind of season review.
You guys both are a lot more positive on the action than me. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I just my least favorite thing about the entire episode is the editing.
Sure.
I think it's awful. There's moments when Mando is fighting the Praetorian guards and he'll grab and then he'll wait. And then the camera will go to a different one and he'll do a slow move and then he'll stop.
Yeah.
And the camera will go back and he finishes it. And I'm just like, that took 3 seconds.
I did have that same issue. It was the same issue I had with The Last Jedi, unfortunately. Is it the fighting didn't feel fluid on hand-to-hand combat stuff.
Sure.
It felt way too choreographed. And editing is an issue of it.
It's more like a dance, and editing can reveal that.
Yeah.
For me, it's a Disney Plus issue because Moon Knight had this problem. You got all this hand-to-hand stuff, and it's just like... it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But then, at the same time, to the opposite side of that, in episode 2, I got Mando walking through the caves, just loses to some random droid, doesn't know how to fight. And this episode, he's doing butterfly kicks and flipping around. It's like, this is a different character. Yeah. This is a completely different character. Yeah. There's just no consistency and overall for the season.
That's something.
It feels so unfocused.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we're going to start here. We're going to do random stuff until Bo-Katan's going to get Mandalorian. Whatever happens in between.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A couple of things I did like. I liked the stuff with, I think his name's Wolf. The guy who goes up to the capital ship to get it, and then he has the little, axe. Yeah, Axel.
Wolf is D&D character, and...
So Axe's character who
Axel
goes
Rose.
up. I think everything they've done with spaceships this season has looked phenomenal. And while for a TV show,
although I don't know if we should give Disney that off.
But
they have enough money; they can make it look good.
That's fair. Yeah. I liked that the ability for it to cut away and give us something different. Mm-hmm. It kind of felt like Rogue One, where it's like, okay, there's this battle on the ground and there's battle in the sky.
Yeah, and both are important in its own way.
Exactly, and this one was neat to have that finale of okay, how do we destroy this Imperial base? Let's just tank a capital ship into it. Why not?
I mean, other than the fact that ship probably cost billions of credits, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mind.
They stole it.
They'll just get another
TIE
one
fighters
in a
were-
completely wrecked Mandalore with like maybe 75 citizens in it. Yeah, let's just go and get rid of like our biggest transport thing that we can use to make money on.
Nah, they had the gauntlet. They can put everybody in there, right?
I did logically think that was really dumb to just, we'll just sacrifice this zillion dollar
Right.
ship.
Piece of equipment.
Could have just
It
bombed
looks
it.
cool, though.
You
Yeah.
could have just bombed it, but I mean that's whatever.
Maybe they shot out all the guns. Deleted scene.
Deleted scene.
Yep.
They delete the scenes that make it logical.
Yeah.
It's not an efficient use of taxpayer credits, is what Baroque and Roller says in the chat.
No, it is not.
No, it's not. But luckily, they're those Mandalorians, they're pretty.
But it's worth it. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's worth it.
They're just gonna
It's just
build-
They'll steal another.
could have done something
They'll
different.
just build a
but-
new Imperial ship or a new ship out of Beskar, and they'll never get shot down.
They got the forge back. They relit it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
There's unlimited Beskar.
So another thing
Yeah.
that I think was just really mishandled all season, and to just emphasize a little more, was everything around the Darksaber. It gets so unceremoniously shattered, and that is a huge deal.
It is.
That should have been episode 2, and that can cause a lot of dissension in between Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's go get our planet back. There. I just fixed an entire arc for the entire season for your show. And then it's just, it's done. Show's over. Like,
They also don't.
Okay.
There's no weight to the Darksaber, anyways. It just feels like a standard lightsaber. Like it doesn't. I mean, I get the Mandalorian history behind it, but I think the Darksaber's supposed to be more powerful than a standard lightsaber, and it doesn't feel that way at all. Like
I think it just has, like, lore behind it. Like, it's just a normal sword, but, like it was the sword in the stone.
yeah.
Like, it's
Excalibur.
I
Right?
just
It's
mean
this-
like
well, that was the sword in the leg.
well,
the whole last 2 episodes that they were using the Darksaber, like it just didn't really do anything. It just bounced
Sure.
off armor and
yeah.
didn't do like anything. So it was like you have it kind of be like a non-factor in fights for a little bit, and then you just break it.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Dude, that happened. I was just like, Filoni didn't write this episode. That's what I said.
Filoni didn't write any of the episodes.
He helped with episode 7, which is the best episode. I'm just saying. Like,
And
that
broke
might
it.
be a thing right there.
broke it by squeezing it too.
Yeah.
With his
That's
mech
rough.
suit. It was mech suit versus mech suit with Gideon versus Grogu. Gosh, that was so cute.
Yeah, I did not like Grogu being in this season, but specifically this episode, there's just no with how they shoot his character, being the puppet, right?
Dude, the memes are so funny. Have you seen them?
It
They're like,
just doesn't
whenever
look-
Grogu has to jump, and there's a dude behind the scene just like throwing it off.
Yeet.
Like, there's times when I do at this point wish that they were like, okay, let's get a CG model in or something. Like, you don't need to be doing
You can also-
episode 2 Yoda stuff,
You can mix.
but you can mix.
You can do some CG stuff and some practical effect stuff. That's what almost every movie and stuff they mix.
Yeah,
They do
yeah.
both.
Well,
When it looks good with the practical effects.
impossible.
At this point,
You've been lied to.
what I really want to see is I want to see just the top half. Like, I just hate how he moves, walks. His legs,
he's
they
not-
don't make sense.
His feet aren't
He's
even
just
on the
floating.
ground. Yeah.
He's just floating. So, like, just do CG legs.
He was better when he was in
Please.
his little floaty thing.
The floating thing was great.
You didn't have to worry about feet.
My favorite part was when he was with Luke.
Yeah.
And not in the show.
Agree.
Because I just
agree.
do not like his character.
Agree.
It was great in those first 2 episodes, and then I was like, this might be a problem.
Yeah.
I also just like, I don't like how they, and I think this is a Star Wars problem in general. It's like the Force just becomes so convenient sometimes. I would just like a creator to be like, I have the Force. I'm gonna start with it, and then maybe it doesn't work, so you have to do something else. Like honestly, the fight, it's kind of a cheesy fight, but the fight between Yoda and Count Dooku, they start off with the Force, and they're like, okay, this isn't really gonna work. Let's just fight with our lightsabers, whatever. Like the execution was not there, but like try to do that.
Yeah.
But like it's like, oh no, something bad's gonna happen. Force shield. No training. Force shield.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. That seems to be a big Disney problem. With just not. They just try to. They use the Force just to like be a scapegoat. To like. Something bad happened, but the Force.
Yeah.
Something bad happened, but the Force.
Trust only in the Force.
Yeah.
When.
Is Mando finally over and done with? I'm gonna be honest, I hope so.
My problem is this isn't the worst Star Wars that we've got, so wouldn't be upset if they do more, but they don't have to.
If they don't know where to end it, and if they don't have an end in sight, just stop it now because you gave it an ending. It was horrible. It was the most cornball, goofy ending. But let's just leave it. They're on their farm on whatever that planet was. He can show up in.
Oh, that's another thing.
Other things.
I did not get why they're like. And this just goes back to the whole like themes that they're setting up and how they're tying things up in the end. But like, rather than Mando being part of Mandalorian culture and like staying on Mandalore and like raising Grogu there, he's like, but actually I'm gonna like Carl Weathers, he's got me a free piece of prime real estate on the desert planet over there, and I'm gonna sit and sip tea while my child plays.
I mean,
with
he's
frogs.
eventually gonna go do jobs.
Right.
He's not
but
just.
I just
sitting
feel
there,
like
but
instead of
why is he there, not at Mandalore?
Right.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
But
like
other
if
than
that was the arc,
other
like
than
that was his first three things. Like I must become a Mandalorian again.
But that's not cowboy. Okay. Mandalorian's a cowboy.
He's a cowboy.
And he
He
needs
hasn't
his
been a
ranch.
cowboy since episode 2.
That's the aesthetic they want. So they put him on a ranch with his adopted son. Okay. I honestly think that's why they liked it aesthetically,
Yep.
and so they're like,
I
"That's
think
what
you
we're
are
gonna
right.
do."
Yeah. Yeah.
And aesthetically, I do like it, but it doesn't make sense. It would make more sense that he goes and tries to rebuild Mandalore with.
Just literally put a range on me.
No, it has to be a desert ranch. Okay.
Grogu wants to hang out with the frogs and IG. What's his name?
Oh, and they did.
There was no reason to bring back IG.
Finally brought back IG 11, right?
Yeah,
He
11.
was 12 while he was the like suit.
He's
I
your
hated the
favorite.
suit stuff too.
Uh,
The IG suit.
Oh. No. Mute.
Mute, please.
Until I stop seeing this.
Just mute. Yeah. So final episode. We're on a little bit of a spectrum here from like really dislike to kind of like, to enjoyed. It sounds like
Yeah,
you
I think
enjoyed
I'm
it.
just sitting at enjoyed. Because
Because
I did not expect to at all.
Where do we rate? I'm curious. We can talk some more details, but where do you guys on our fanboy scale rate season 3 Mandalorian? Is it a dumpster fire, straight to streaming, Matthew McConaughey because it's all right, fanboy worthy, or a booyah?
I mean, it's Star Wars, obviously. Booyah.
No.
I give it a straight to streaming.
Season 3?
I don't think the season is worth watching, honestly, that much. There's great moments throughout. Like, the pirate episode where they're saving Navarro. Is that the plan? Navarro?
Yes.
I think episode 7 was the best episode. But it's just a mess. And
I mean, and honestly, you could just
Yeah.
watch episodes 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. It'd be good, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Or maybe just 1,
Honestly.
2, 7, 8. I don't know. but I feel like the first 3 episodes were still together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely form a little bit of their own story.
I would hands down skip episode 6 if you're wanting to watch the whole thing, because that episode was garbage.
I also watched it all back to back today, so
I'm curious
it
how
kind of blends together.
Yeah.
But it also just makes it feel like, okay, it was a thing. Like
Okay.
the episodes that were not as great, like they were
Just
started
went
in
to the next one.
they started and finished in 35 minutes. So it's not like
Dude, the finale was so short.
33, I think.
That's crazy.
It was so
Yeah.
short. It like the battle ended, and I was just like,
Yeah, 33 minutes.
Okay.
it was over?
And that's without credits.
Their credits are like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Their beginning recap is, I think, 5 minutes. And then their ending credits are 7 minutes.
Oh my god.
So really, I finished this a lot faster than I thought I was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I was going to be coming up to the to this. I'm trying to finish the last one. I finished it like 3 hours before.
I'm gonna agree with Luke. I think this season is a straight to streaming. Which, to be fair, is kind of how it's been created, I suppose. Maybe I just feel like we got spoiled with the first 2 seasons being above average. To be fair, like I think season 1 is really good. I like it a lot. Season 2, I think it ends. I don't love the Luke thing, but like other than that, I do think it's still a good season of TV. And then this just feels so much like an afterthought.
Would you
Sure.
like the Luke thing more if they didn't completely erase it almost immediately? Because honestly, I
Yes,
loved the Luke ending.
Yes, but only because we got Grogu back. Does that mean only because if they didn't erase it so quick, we wouldn't have to deal with Grogu at all this season, and we could have had like Bo-Katan and Din be like partners, not like sensual partners,
Yes.
but buddies, right? Where
Platonic
it always feels like Grogu is there, and it's the Mandalorian and Grogu, and then Bo-Katan's kind of over here, and like we're telling her story, but we're gonna she's just over here.
Yeah. Well, it's also about the Mandalorian. It's not about Bo-Katan.
Right.
Well, it's
right.
supposed to be.
Is it though? They said they don't know.
Well, then they messed up because it should be.
They like came out and said they're like the Mandalorian might not be Din.
Well, Din's the greatest thing of the series, so if it's not, then you've messed up.
Din
royally.
Grogu is the best thing in the series.
Stop it. Star Wars just really likes giving characters that aren't related in other people's names.
The same name.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
sure.
Din Skywalker would have been fine too, honestly.
I hope episode 9 comes out and everyone's named Skywalker. Please and thank you.
Obi-Wan
What did
Skywalker.
Easton, what
No,
did you
it's-
say your rating was? Did you?
No, I didn't. I mean, it's weird to. I don't know how to really rate a show that's already straight to streaming.
Sure.
So I don't really know where to put it, but it's probably somewhere around straight to streaming
Okay.
to Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Because like, I went in with really low expectations because I saw all the stuff on Twitter and it looked really bad.
Yeah, our rating system doesn't really work for TV. Yeah, we did it originally for movies.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So-
So I'm like, I don't really know. Like, but like, I know a lot of people that are just huge Mandalorian fans. Like, just Mandalorians as a whole, they just like that a lot, and they really like the show. So it's like, if you really like Mandalorians, then this show's
Yeah.
it has a lot of faults, but you are still gonna really like it. So
Like Luke said, I think each episode does have something cool in there. So like, as long if
yeah,
we watch an abnormal
Yeah.
amount of TV and movies, and so I think we may be harsher naturally, right? Like we see things that are like so good, and then we see things that are like so bad, and this is one of those things where like I think our expectations for it were a little higher because it had things that came before, seasons 1 and 2, and that sets some precedent. And then, but even if it's not that great, it has some moments in it for sure. Each episode has something that's maybe worth seeing.
Put poor Pedro Pascal on his.
yeah. So I mean,
That's funny.
well, I don't want to spoil anything for something else. He will.
Yeah.
He will be put out of his misery at some point.
I know where you're going.
But I don't know. I think it was totally fine. It definitely was a decline from the last two, but it wasn't as. I didn't think it was as big of a drop as I thought it was going to be.
Good.
There's just some rough episodes.
Yeah.
So I thought the start and the finish were good, and then I did not like the middle parts very much, but I got over it in an hour and a half, and then I could just go to it ended well, which I think is better than the opposite.
Yeah,
starting well and ending bad.
Yeah, a show that just can't figure out how to finish and the end just looks bad.
And or if you feel like super
which
locked
one?
into
Game of Thrones season 8? Yeah.
And it's also like we were talking about. These are shorter episodes. This is a quick season of TV. Like even if you feel like you're suffering, you're not suffering for long.
Yeah. The season as a whole also did do a pretty decent job of feeling like Star Wars for the most part. Like I said, I think the middle parts were a little rough, but I'm like coming off of like, I think the last show I watched was Andor, which was like felt really Star Wars and was really good. Mm-hmm. But then before that was Book of Boba Fett, which felt like So I'm like, I feel like this is kind of in between those two that feels more like Star Wars than Boba Fett. So I'm like, I'm still happy for the most part. Yeah. Because it still looked a little bit better than Boba Fett. Yeah. Because I was not a fan of that.
Definitely a step up from Boba Fett still for me, too.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Boba Fett was shorter, though. 6 episodes?
It was only 6.
I think it was only 6.
In one Mando episode?
2.
That's right.
Oh.
It was only 5 episodes in one Mando episode.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Mando episode was the only good episode. No. I actually like the Tusken Raider episode.
The Tusken Raider stuff is great. It
started
over
off
so fast.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Book of Boba Fett.
No, my bad.
No, you're good.
That's just where my head's at when I'm thinking about The Mandalorian when I was watching it. Was like, how does this compare to all the other stuff that I've watched so far?
Inevitably, we're going to compare it to things. So
I'm just glad I can end season 2 of Mando.
3?
2. And end it there. That's where it ends. So far for me.
Oh, this is like the main Star Wars Skywalker saga. It ends with 8 for me.
And it ends at 7 for me.
Yeah,
so.
See? And it ends with 9 for you, so we're all happy.
9. God, how does it... I need to pick your brain on how anybody can like that film. It baffles me. I talked to my...
Probably for the same reasons people would like Commando Season 3. I just thought it was fun. I don't think it's great. Okay. I don't even say it's good. I just liked it.
Because my brother is also a big Star Wars fan. I took him into my wing and was like, you're going to love this because I do. Like, you have to watch it because we have one TV. I'm going to make you watch it 1,000 times. And he went and watched 9. He was like, oh, that was awesome. I loved it. I'm like, what did you watch? And then I went and talked to him like a week later. He was like, we had a big debate and then he rewatched it. And he was like,
I will never tell anybody they're wrong for hating it.
Yeah.
Same with 8. I'll never tell anybody they're wrong for liking it.
Luke's my friend.
This is my process with Star Wars now. I eventually hit a point, and it will happen with Boba Fett and Mando Season 3. Yeah. Something comes up, and it's like, what happened? Why is this so bad? And eventually, I'll just forget about it, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Happened with all the prequels. It happened with all the sequels, and it'll happen with all the TV, too. That's how I roll with Star Wars now. I hung a bunch of Star Wars posters up.
Well, we will... We'll leave. I think that's a good place to wrap up Mandalorian Season 3. None of us were like it's fantastic, but it had some good bits, and I think it kind of exists where it belongs in streaming. You don't really have to pay anything more than a Disney Plus subscription. No. So
we'll see if they ever make another movie.
Yeah. Okay. We can hop on over to Ghosted real quick. These guys...
Real quick.
These guys got to watch Ghosted. It's Apple TV+.
We got to? We got to watch it.
We got to. That's true.
Apple
we
TV
were blessed with our Apple TV.
We were blessed.
Starring...
To be able to watch Ana de Armas and Chris Evans. Yeah.
And Ana de Armas. So, what you guys go, take it away. What did you think of the movie?
Crap.
That good, eh?
It was crap. I hated it. I was trying to think of something clever to say, but all I got is it's crap. It's a rom-com where the two leads both incredibly beautiful people, have zero chemistry. Zero. None. Bad acting. If you want to see how the acting is in this movie, just watch the opening scene with Ana de Armas, where she's talking on her phone. You'll just be like, "Oh, I get it." I honestly didn't know she could act bad. I'd never seen it before. This is she's off an Oscar nom. I think it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when it started too. I was like, oh wow, she was on nominated for an Oscar and she's doing that's pretty cool. All scene, it's like, oh no, this is gonna be good. It's like,
Look, we all have those days at work where we're like, I'm here
to get paid.
I'm here to get paid.
This couldn't have paid that much though. That's what baffles me about this. Like, this couldn't have paid a lot of money, and this has a stacked cast.
Yeah,
because you got Chris Evans and Ana de Armas, and then you also have a bunch of cameos from pretty good actors. And our main villain is an
Adrian
Academy
Brody.
Award-winning actor.
There's tons of names in this movie.
Yeah, and
you know what? Every time somebody popped up for a cameo, I hated it a little bit more.
yes, the cameos are really bad. Yeah, the things I wrote down is, one, this feels like a movie that was made for and by TikTokers. Oh my god, you're so right. It just feels like there's just moments that they're like, that could be a TikTok, and that's how they wrote it, hoping that would sell. And guess what? I saw ads for this on TikTok like crazy, and not just ads, paid ads, just people before the movie came out, just clips of it on TikTok. And I'm like, what is this? And it's like, oh, it's a movie coming out in 3 weeks. I'm like, first of all, how do you have this? And second, why am I watching an entire scene on TikTok before a movie's out? Oh, man. So that's what I thought several times. And this also feels much more like a Netflix movie than an Apple TV Plus movie. And
that's what kind of surprised me when I started seeing.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, I think
you're right. I didn't even think about that.
If it's on Netflix, I think this hits perfectly fine. But this is Apple TV is supposed to be it's higher brow
premium.
Yeah, it's supposed to be better written stuff, better acted movies that have a little bit more weight to them, and this has zero weight. So yeah, no, I agree. This was not very good. Like I said, I fell asleep twice trying to watch this movie. I mean, yes, it was late, but I watch movies late all the time and can usually get through 95% of the movie, especially if it's a new movie. I'll usually finish it and then pass out shortly after. Mm-hmm. But I would fall asleep within 10 minutes because it's just empty. Just an empty relationship, or they're trying to force this empty relationship. It's supposed to be a spy movie.
At the end of this movie, I was like, they're in love? You just don't believe it for 1 second. It's the most ham-fisted relationship.
Well, the whole story is ham-fisted. There's no, everything is straight told to you line by line. Every aspect of the movie. It's all, there's no hiding anything. They're just going to straight tell you with dialogue everything that's happening, so you won't get lost. Like you're a child trying to watch this movie. But then also, they talk about sex for about 30% of the movie, which was a reoccurring bit that does not land. It's
First farmer.
They just kept on several times. There was the reoccurring bit of get a room. They were trying to force feed the fact that these two have sexual tension and have a romance. So they just have to tell you, because they can't act it or write it that way. So they had to physically tell you that they like each other, and that
it's will they? Won't they? I'm hoping they won't. I'm hoping it'll end. Oh yeah, I have written down. This is egregious cameos and licensed music of the movie. So you complained in Mario the licensed music didn't work.
No.
I raise you this.
No, that's another reason why I thought it was TikTok. I was they're just doing TikTok songs. They're trying to like make these TikTok songs.
There's a climactic gun battle to Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it started and I was just like, I didn't think they could make me hate this any more than I thought. Like,
Literally,
it's like, what?
Yeah.
And then it just like stops and it goes into the normal score. It's not a good score.
No.
It's like loops off Apple, which I know we've done in our past movies.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Hey, we also had zero budget.
And it was 3
Zero
a.m.
budget dollars.
It was 3 a.m.
It was 3 a.m.
And it was a race. We had 36 hours. But
Yeah, the reason why I thought the like licensed music thing was so overdone and felt like a TikTok phase was because you said, I was talking about earlier, and you said like TikToks will like have like a whole movie. You can just watch a minute and a half. They'll put a song over that scene because it'll get more likes or whatever.
yeah.
And that's what these scenes felt like. They were just like, oh, we have a scene here. We're just gonna throw this popular song over it, so that people will be like, oh, I know that song. That's cool.
Yeah.
While
And
they're
there's
watching,
like there's one licensed song in there that like,
Fits?
actually makes sense, which was Taxman. They allude to the movie,
Yeah.
and then they use it, and it's like great. That was probably there was like two things I liked in it, and that was probably one of them, which doesn't matter in the slightest. The other thing that I liked, which also doesn't matter, was when Chris Evans was at his house and his family was just making fun of him. That's the movie I want. I want, hey, I'm stuck here at home trying to help my family. I have this plant business, maybe not going well. I want that movie. I was actually interested in a little bit in his little farmer's market plant shop.
so you want like a Lifetime movie.
No, let's make it A24. Let's like pop a demon in the end. The demons are all full, or the plants all had spirits in them or something.
A Lifetime movie plot filled with an A24 twist.
Honestly, the movie I want is Minari. That's what I want.
Go watch that instead.
I've seen it. It was awesome.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, just go watch that instead of Ghosted. You could watch almost anything over this movie, and it would be a good pick.
It was horrible. And then I kind of want to spoil this. And I honestly think this is an okay spoiler, because if you're like me, this alone would be in the movie and just knock it down a notch on our system anyway. So if you don't want to know anything, you don't want to watch it, now's your chance.
Skip 30
It'll
seconds.
only last about 10 seconds, whatever. There's a Ryan Reynolds cameo, and it makes no sense. It's not funny. It popped up, and I went, nope.
It was just another
done.
sex joke.
Yep. It's like, oh, my dick got shot off. Then he left.
I'm not kidding. He was literally used to be like, I slept with you, Ana de Armas. I still love you. And that was it.
I'm trying to figure out what Ana de Armas was more of a sex object as, in this one or the Marilyn Monroe movie.
Blonde.
I haven't seen Blonde yet. I'm
seen
scared to. I was excited for it, and I've heard a lot of bad things, so I've been scared to watch it.
I think the
And I
only
really
good
like
thing I've
Ana de
heard was
Armas,
her
too.
performance.
Yeah.
But
And I really like her, so I was like, I do want to watch it, but I also don't want to watch it if it's like degrading to people and women in general. So
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, I really don't know what to do. So
same.
yeah,
But yeah, I hated that cameo, and it legit kind of made me mad.
every cameo was bad though. I mean, they had like there were 3 cameos within I think 45 seconds. I think there were 3 cameos in 45 seconds, and they were just 3 different MCU characters. And it was
the second one?
Falcon, Winter Soldier, and
I know him from Cowboy Bebop, and I don't remember from Marvel though.
I thought he was in a Marvel movie. I could be wrong, but
It's
I
John
thought
Chu.
yeah.
Sorry, spoiler.
I don't think it matters. He was in the movie for literally 12 seconds.
Is he in a Marvel movie? I don't even remember.
I thought all of them were.
I don't think so.
Okay.
John Cho. Sorry, I'm messing that up.
He's in Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. But I thought he was in a Marvel movie too. But okay, so 2 out of 3 of their cameos were MCU characters. And they were both the other versions of Captain America. Because you had Falcon and you had the Winter Soldier. So it was just kind of dumb. Yeah, I know. It was just stupid. I was like, why? You could have just had these be blank faces and it would have been...
I think it would have been a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
actually, because I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I was so annoyed by
At the cameo. Yeah, I know. That's what that's what I was trying to say with it. Yeah.
So I'm hearing lots.
Booyah.
I'm curious. How did that get so? Easton, we're etching that into stone forever. He's giving this movie a booyah. Total recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Go subscribe to Apple TV Plus
just to watch
forever
this.
for this.
Yeah, just to watch this every Friday
on repeat once a week.
Listen, if you hate your life and you want to hate it a little bit more and watch probably one of the worst movies of the year, this is fanboy worthy.
I think the only way you could put this at fanboy worthy is just if you like Ana de Armas that much and you just want to see her kick some ass for a little bit and then wear a sexy dress at the end. Like,
or even if you are one of the people that loves watching bad movies, but like this doesn't even feel like a bad it's good movie. It's just like this is one of the most lazy movies.
It is, yeah. It's just
There's no identity with it.
Whatever easy shoehorn trope you can put for every single rom-com spy movie you can think of, they did in the movie.
Crazy.
Yeah. It was just like what the script basically wrote itself.
Maybe it was written by ChatGPT.
Maybe this was the first AI generated script. That would make sense.
Ahead of its time.
Whoa.
Let's see, where are the writers? Because I can't remember.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the
Rhett
announcement.
Reese, Paul Wernick, Chris McKenna, Eric Summers. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. They were
4 writers.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know
they wrote Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool's okay. Now I know why.
Well, so definitely not a recommendation
No,
from
this
the
is
fanboys, and that's
it's a dumpster fire.
I'm not quite to that far. I think this is perfectly fine at a straight to streaming. I would say it would be on Netflix and make way more sense, and I think there would be a lot of 14-year-olds that would find this very funny.
14-year-olds are kind of dumb, though.
I know, that's the point, though. That's why they're on Netflix. That's why The Kissing Booth has their second most watches on Netflix. I mean, these movies make sense for... I think it would have done just fine on Netflix, and that's where it should have been. And I don't know why Apple TV picked this up, other than maybe they just thought Ana de Armas was on a high, and that somehow that was gonna make it good.
They actually picked this up. While you guys were, I was looking into it because I was like,
Crapping
how
on
did
this
this
movie?
happen? So they picked it up when it was. So when it kind of gotten pitched, Skydance was like trying to find leads, and they came down with Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. I don't think that makes the movie better.
I 100% thought throughout this movie, I was like, this makes more sense for Scarlett Johansson than it does Ana de Armas.
But that's who was originally cast, and then she had to back out for scheduling reasons.
They probably would have at least had chemistry, but other than that, like this,
I don't blame Ana
scripting
de
and
Armas for any of
directing
it.
would still been an issue.
Yeah. It sounds like there are bigger problems overall there.
Yeah.
So, well, darn,
You were excited for this one?
I was not.
Oh, okay.
I was not excited for it, but it was more like, okay, like I may have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be dumb, but like maybe I'll have fun, and I'm now convinced I won't have fun. But
I literally turned on the NBA playoffs on my computer when I was watching this.
You just like the NBA playoffs, though.
I really do, but
I'll just have a glass of whiskey when I watch it, and it'll make it.
I was like, this is not
little easier.
worth missing a basketball game for.
I mean, I would not say that like this is a waste of like I didn't feel like I wasted my time and that it was like a half star. This is a deplorable movie that is like that level. So I'm slightly above where Luke is at, but it's still really bad. It's still really bad.
I gave it 1.5 stars.
Yeah,
it's a high dumpster fire.
Yeah.
It's still in the dumpster, but it's like at the top, right? Like it's not buried underneath all of the
I tossed it in the
scraps.
dumpster. I dumped on the gasoline. I lit the match and it went, yeah. Lit it up.
All right. Well, there wasn't a lot of news this week, but there's a couple things. Luis Leterrier? He's the guy who came in to
nailed it.
finish. he came in to finish Fast X.
Oh.
As a director, he is coming back to do Fast 11.
Oh, nice.
Or whatever they're gonna call it. Probably. Look, they don't have
Fast 10 Your Seatbelts Part 2.
Part 2.
Well, I think is it 11 or 12? It's supposed to be the end.
11
They
was
announced.
supposed to be
one,
the
yeah.
end.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Then we get Hobbs and Shaw Part 2, finally.
Finally.
Fine. The Rock's gonna need to do something.
He's got Bloodshot 2 to make.
No, it's Vin. That's Vin Diesel.
Black.
Who was?
Oh, that's some
Who did
real
you say?
shade. That's some real shade. The Rock.
Oh, you said The Rock. I was just thinking the main character of Fast and Furious, so I just assumed you were talking about the other bald guy in the movie.
Look, if
10. Yeah, no, Hobbs.
Yeah. The
worst
Rock
of
and
all the movies.
Jason Statham. Oh yeah, there's 3 bald men in this movie. That's right.
There's so many bold men.
So many bald men. The only other little bit of news that I've got here is that Juno Temple is reportedly in talks to join Tom Hardy in Venom 3, which I always kind of knew that it was coming, but I was really hoping.
I just hope it's her
it would
character
just-
from Ted Lasso is going to be in Venom 3.
Yes, please. Oh, I love that.
There's all that Lulu and Stitch news, but it's a dumpster fire of a discussion right now. So
Yeah.
I just see it all over Twitter. It's a hot
Chris,
mess.
So apparently this was earlier.
There's
like Friday.
There's just a bunch of different casting stuff. And,
And we've
and
talked about some of it, but
people
Chris
on
Sanders,
Twitter are going
who
crazy. And
was the original voice of Stitch, is reportedly in talks to voice Stitch again in the live action version.
well, they announced that
Bubbles
Bubbles wasn't going to
sucks.
be in it.
Oh.
And then they announced that Nevermind he is going to be in it because there was such a backlash that they were going to take out Bubbles. So
Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
Doing it?
I don't know if he's doing it, but the character Bubbles, they took him out of the live action movie. They said he wasn't going to be in it, and then there was such a backlash. They're like, never mind, Bubbles is back in.
Actually, please forgive us.
Ving Rhames is going to voice Stitch.
Yes, please. Oh, all right. Well, I don't have any other news.
Yeah, I
There really wasn't.
I
We
didn't
had
see.
zero.
It was a slow.
Yeah.
It was a slow news week, so we just.
I'll tell you what, CinemaCon is this week, which means The Flash is premiering, and I'm just really excited to hear reactions from that.
Those first.
Because obviously, once Twitter reacts to something, I can use Twitter as my reaction, because I can't have my own, right?
No. Of course not. So real quick before we wrap up, what'd you guys do this week? You got any like new things that you watched that you want to give us like a real brief update on? Like, kind of like thumbs up, thumbs down. I thought it was fanboy worthy or whatnot. Easton,
start with
you're
me?
our special guest, so we'll start with you.
Like I said, I was in the movie theater a lot this last week.
Nothing wrong. Sounds like a good week to me.
It was off and on. Well, it started with The Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
Well, yeah, that's fine. It's a fanboy. I mean, if you're in the Exorcist world and you like
Sure.
that kind of stuff, that's right up your alley. But if it's not, you're gonna hate it. These are made for specific people, and so they know who they're catering to, and it works well. They make money off of those people, and Russell Crowe's in it, and I think that he was a great addition. He speaks Latin, English, and Italian in the movie, which I thought was extremely cool because he's supposed to be at the Vatican, and I guess they speak all 3 languages. But anyways, that was cool. But I thought that was what it started off with. It was like, okay, it's not bad.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, and then I ran into Renfield right after that. We did a double feature,
Oh.
and I thought Renfield was a straight to streaming, not very good.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, are we talking like Apple TV Plus straight to stream or Netflix?
Netflix for sure.
Okay.
It's just over the top, goofy, stupid. It's like I feel like this would be a movie directed by Adam Sandler, not whatever.
Interesting.
Just like the over the top goofiness, like I mean, not at the level of like
I might
Hubie
like
Halloween,
it.
maybe.
I freaking loved Hubie
I know
Halloween.
you do. It's not quite to that level, but that's almost. I feel like it was almost in that realm.
Once again, I won't say it's good.
Yeah,
But
but
I
you
love
like
it.
it. That's totally fine. But there's a lot of action. It's not, it's really bloody, gory, over the top action stuff.
Yeah.
But it's that goofiness that Adam Sandler does with his kind of stuff. Is why I'm equating it to that.
Okay.
And then I did Suzumi, which is an animated movie. I guess I could pull up the director. He's done Your Name and Weathering with You.
I love Weathering with You.
Yeah, so it's the same
So
director
good.
of those two. I actually have only seen Your Name, haven't seen Weathering with You yet.
Okay.
It's definitely on my watch list.
Makoto Shinkai?
Yes, I was not even going to attempt to say it.
I butchered that. I know it, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have tried.
I definitely think that's teetering on a booyah for me. His animation's beautiful.
Yeah.
His stories are really, they're sci-fi-esque. I guess I don't know about Weathering for You, but they always teeter on like on a sci-fi. But at the heart of it, it's always about a relationship and usually romance. And I really enjoyed how that all tied together, and really enjoyed it. And then I did what you guys did last week and watched Return of the King Extended Edition
Heck yeah.
in theaters.
Heck yeah.
And I don't
So
think
good.
I've seen Return of the King since high school.
Wow.
Because
That was fun.
I can't watch, like, I have to watch them back to back to back. I'm not just going to plug in Return of the King
Sure.
and watch it.
So did you pre-gamed then a little bit?
So Tristan and I started rewatching them again, and we made it through the first two, but then never got to the last one because it's 4.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And then
It's a beast.
and then it just like popped up, and I'm like, there we go. We're just gonna go
It's
watch.
perfect.
Yeah, but I think we watched them like 3-4 months ago or something like that. So
Sure.
it's been a
It's
little
been
bit
a
of
little
time, but I'm like, no. And so we just watched last 30 minutes of Twin Towers, and then
Two Towers?
Two Towers. Yeah. Sorry, that's the joke my friends always say about the movie. Might be.
gosh. The look on Easton's face when he realized that. Priceless.
Yeah, I guess.
Two Towers. So you watched the last 30 minutes of Two Towers.
I also don't know when that movie came out, but I don't know how.
2-on-2.
I don't know how they swindled that, but I've called it Twin Towers since I was in high school, so or probably middle school. But sorry. And then so we like finished the last 30 minutes of that, and then went over to watch Return of the King, and theater experience was fantastic. I've never seen a theater that quiet before. It was insane. I've had so many bad theater experiences over the last 2 years since COVID.
Yep.
And completely silent. Everybody was like, we are in for this ride. And like a few people got up for like popcorn stuff.
Yeah.
But not even a lot. Over a 4.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and like our theater was super engaged. They're laughing and going like, oh, when people died. And although there was the lady in like the third row who was playing Pokemon Go on her phone.
no
I don't know
way.
if you noticed that.
I didn't.
Oh.
I must have not had the right angle.
I had
Someone's head
I had
must
the
have been-
perfect angle for
You
it.
should have asked me for some popcorn. I would have given you ammunition.
I
It was
confront
like
people.
100 feet away. Huh?
I confront people.
I don't. I deal with it.
We were watching. During the Pope's Exorcist. The person next to us was just on Snapchat, full bright for like 10 minutes, and I was just like, "Hey, can you put your phone away?" And she was like, "What?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Put your phone away."
The only time I ever confronted somebody was when he went and saw Multiverse of Madness.
Was that when the child was kicking you? You confronted the child.
No, if a
Hey.
child is kicking me behind me,
Sometimes the child needs to get.
sometimes the child should stay at home because it's a PG-13 movie with people getting disemboweled.
Oh.
No, Multiverse of Madness was the kid beside me who was texting the people on the other side of us.
That's right.
And he
That's
texted
right.
them and then looked down.
That's right.
And, I hated that movie. I really did. And I was not enjoying myself. And it was probably...
It just makes it worse.
Yeah, it made it way worse. 2/3 of the way through, I just leaned over to him when he's on his phone, and I just leaned over and I said, "Can you please stop using your phone?" Said it like in the most
Condescending.
mean but nice way possible, and he's just like, "Yeah, sure." No, if somebody's getting my chair behind me, you give them the dad look, which is the...
Yeah.
It's like, who is that?
The worst
Who could
thing
it
is
possibly be?
when the dad gives you that look on like you tap his chair the first time like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie on accident, and he's like, "Are you serious right now?" It's like, bro, it's not like I've been doing it all time. I just moved my feet. I moved my feet and happened to tap your chair like ever so slightly. The worst movie thing I had was we watched Infinity Pool,
yeah.
and there were 2 mothers that brought their 2 kids in that were less than 3 years old in to watch Infinity Pool. And I went to call Child Protective Services. There's full on sex scenes and like full on like torture scenes with full on blood. I mean orgies, and these kids are just sitting up front.
What's this movie?
It's not sexy, man.
No,
it's the wrong kind.
It is the wrong kind of orgy.
When I went and saw the third Fantastic Beasts movie, there was a lady who had a newborn, maybe like 2 months. And I tell you what, that baby was so engaged in the movie. Just not a sound. Not a sound. You know why? Because they haven't been introduced to the Marvel movies yet. That movie ruins kids, and they just forget how to behave in a movie.
That's what it is.
Yes, I blame Disney.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Theater etiquette has definitely gone downhill, but I will agree that the Return of the King extended edition in theaters, I think, just because it's like a one-night event, it's an event,
and the only people that are gonna go are people
who want to be there,
and it's 7:00 on a weekday.
Yeah,
I had to take the next day off because I had to get up early for work.
Oh, so I struggled through my work day.
Yeah, I
was fine.
I drive a work truck at 5:00 in the morning to Hutchinson. I'm like, I ain't taking that risk.
No.
I finished it up
be
with
safe for everyone.
Yes, I do not want to T-bone someone.
Yes.
Man, I got home from that movie and I still didn't go to the bathroom. Held on, wasn't letting go of that feeling.
I finished up the movie week with Beau is Afraid.
Yes. The Ari Aster,
which was my favorite.
Masterpiece?
Ari Aster was my favorite up and coming director until this movie.
Okay.
Hereditary is my favorite horror movie of all time. I have it at 5 out of 5.
It's fantastic.
It's probably in my top 10 movies. Midsommar is right there. It's really close. And I had Ari Aster above the other 2 up-and-coming horror movie people, which is Robert Eggers and Jordan Peele. But I think they both pass him after this movie.
Yeah.
It's
even with Eggers doing a mythical Norse.
I love The Northman. Don't you dare!
But like, it's not a horror movie.
No, it's not. It's not a horror movie.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, that was like, I think that was my favorite movie of last year. Was The Northman. It was right up there with The Batman. Those were 2 of my favorites. But this was actually like teetering on a booyah until the last 40 minutes. I was like, oh, I see all of the tones that he's sitting here, all of the like the vision and the perspective that he's trying to show, and like this alternate version of horror that's not body horror or jump scares. It's more environmental, like not necessarily like atmosphere, but like legit environmental of like the area that you're in creates this terror. Because I mean, the movie's called Beau is Afraid, and then the last 40 minutes just goes off the rails in all of the worst directions. And yeah, I did a full review on it on the Movie Moron with Trevor, and also did one for Renfield and The Pope's Exorcist. But yeah, we both felt the same way, that the ending really just ruins the rest of the movie. Everything that you thought it was tonally doing gets completely shifted, and just it feels like he just I don't know if the end was his vision or not. This movie is supposed to all be his vision, but
yeah. Well, sometimes
I don't know what happened.
If you give a director
complete creative control, which he had, I believe,
you end up with something that is a little more out there and a little more weird. And
that's not what's wrong with it. Being out there isn't what's wrong with it. I have no problem with things that are really out there and wild. It's just it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. They just throw too many loops in.
There needed to be someone to say, wait a second. And there just maybe wasn't.
Yeah. Or just be like, okay, you need to like be solid in one aspect so that like there's one note throughout that's the same, so that the audience has some sort of like grounding in what the movie's like fully about.
Yeah.
And instead it's just it goes in 17 different directions in the last 40 minutes, and you're just like, I can't keep up, and now I like nothing that I've seen before this moment matters. So
it's unfortunate
yeah, it's all the way
when you have such a high, you're riding on that high up until like the finale, and then it's like, oh no!
And like the way that they started the finale, I was like, whoa, this is really cool, and then they just crap on what they, or he did. So I don't know. Obviously, he had something he was trying to do. I don't think it related or was communicated well enough.
Didn't land the plane.
No, I don't think so. I might want to hear a director like him explain.
Yeah,
what
like a commentary type thing.
I hate listening to commentaries of movies, but I might just to see where his head was at, to see if there is some sort of commonality for the entire film, or if it is just this happens, and then this is happening, and if it is like almost 3 different movies. Yeah. Like I hear a lot of people say that Stanley Kubrick movies are, each one of his movies are 2 separate movies. You have his first half, which is one movie, his second half, which is a different movie. Maybe that's kind of what he was trying to do.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
Maybe that's what he was trying to do, is like the first hour of this movie is one movie, the second hour is a different type of horror movie thing, and then the last hour is something completely different. Because they do have, it's 3 distinct settings. Yeah. But I could see the theme in the first 2, and it did not.
Didn't translate in well in the third. So where you said it was teetering at a booyah, but
and then it
came down to
crashed
where?
all the way down to Matthew McConaughey to, I don't know if all the way to a straight to streaming. I don't know if it crashed that far.
But
just
maybe
because,
a low Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I still did really enjoy the first 2.5, almost 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So just like you're really enjoying.
The next time you watch it, you can just be like,
pause,
and I'm done.
cut,
All right.
You really could. Like there's about 7 different endings. Wow. Like it ends and then keeps going. It ends and it keeps going. It ends and it keeps going. And like I thought there was going to be this moment that's like clarity for our character, which would also mean there's some clarity for the audience.
Right.
But instead, he just piles it on without any explanation. So it's like, and I'm like, I don't need you to tell me.
Yeah.
You can just like do some sort of metaphor of showing it of some, and instead it just sinks it. Quite literally.
Darn.
If you've watched it.
Well.
Other than that, just played some Last of Us, or not Last of Us, MLB The Show with Tyler.
Oh.
Still trying to get him to play Last of Us 2. That's why that's on the mind. But it's not working. He's wanting to play Star Wars Fallen Order. So
yeah, that's coming out.
And Ted Lasso's wrapping up. So
yeah,
watching that and can't wait for that. Well, I want it to never stop, but it will.
And it's the last season.
I know. I really hope it somehow gets a reliving, because I don't see how they're gonna finish it with.
I want the spin-off, but Quidditch, that I pitched a couple weeks ago, where it's a Muggle has to coach a Quidditch team.
I love that idea. Please end.
All those characters, I just love all those characters so much. Do you watch it?
Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just love
every Wednesday.
Yeah. So I haven't watched this latest episode because I watch it with my wife Tristan, and she's been dead busy this week, so we haven't had a chance. But
so I think this episode is the best one, at least of this season.
That's what I've heard.
Loved it. There's so many just great character moments for so many different people. It was also a very long episode. I think it was like a full hour.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is pretty rare.
That is rare for
They usually teeter around the 45 to 50.
Yeah.
Every once in a while going below 40.
Like there's some great stuff with Ted. There's Jamie and Roy are off doing their own thing. Then there's a bit with the boss. I can't remember her name. Hannah Wenham's character. And then the rest of the team are doing something. It's just it was so good, and it was really funny. But then like Ted Lasso also hits you with those emotional moments all the time, just like am I laughing or am I crying?
Both,
but yeah,
same time. So yeah, I think that's the extent of my week. It was less video games and more movies this week.
Yeah, that's fair. Luke, you said you're watching Ted Lasso. Yep. What else are you watching?
I got my shows that I watch every week. Ted Lasso's one. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yep.
Perry Mason, which only has 1 episode left. I'm really excited for that finale, which I'll watch tomorrow. I think it airs tonight. But see, is there another show? Oh, there was Mandalorian, My week has really been a lot of NBA playoffs. I'm
Ah,
watching it right now.
basketball.
Actually.
You put
I'm
the
just
basket in the
saying
ball.
the games have been really entertaining for this playoffs. Like the Miami Heat are the 8 seed. They're playing the Bucks, which are the 1 seed. Miami's up 3-1 right now. So
Let's go underdogs.
It's very intense. I've been having a lot of fun watching it.
Nice. All I've been watching this week has been Mythic. Well, I watched Mandalorian, obviously, but Mythic Quest Season 3, which came out end of last year, but I finally got back. I resubbed Apple TV, so I've been binging that, and then I'll get into
Ted
once Ted
Lasso?
Lasso's finished. I'll just binge all of that.
You can watch Tetris.
I need to watch Tetris. Maybe not Ghosted.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Stephanie still wants to watch it, so
I was
will
about to
watch
say,
it with her. And
I feel
we'll
like-
probably have a fun time laughing at it.
Yes.
At this point,
I feel like if I watched it with Tristan, I may have felt a little bit more at ease with watching it because she may have had some more enjoyment than me. But
Yeah.
I was watching it by myself.
Yeah.
I too was watching it.
Yeah.
I will live by my.
Call me. I'll come over
To watch Ghosted.
to watch Ghosted. To watch romantic comedies.
If
with you, Luke.
you're coming over to watch something, we're not gonna watch Ghosted. We're gonna watch something good.
I'm fine with that.
Ghosted 2?
We're gonna watch. Shoot, I can't even remember the name of it because it's so crazy.
It's
We're gonna watch.
Terrifier 2?
No, we're gonna
Oh.
watch The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai through the 8th Dimension. That's what we're watching.
What?
If you want to watch a bad,
Oh, a bad movie.
a good bad movie, that's the one you watch. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. You finish it and you're like, this is the fake movie. How did this get? It stars the guy who's RoboCop
Oh.
and like John Lithgow, I think is the bad guy. Hold on, now I gotta look it up. I need to rewatch it.
RoboCop is RoboCop.
He's the corn version.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say it. You beat it too.
Peter Weller?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has the best credits of any movie ever. Dude, yeah, it's John Lithgow. Holy crap. Oh, dude, it's so good.
Well, okay. It sounds like I know Luke and I are going to have a movie date this week, and that's what we're watching.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
We're
excited.
going to make it happen. I don't know how. I'm the
Jeff
busiest
Goldblum?
person on earth right now, but we're going to make it happen somehow.
Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Lloyd,
Oh my gosh.
We have over in the chat.
Clancy Brown.
Was that all you did?
That's really all I did.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been super busy.
Yeah.
So, but Baroque and Roller over in the chat has a Fanbox question for us. It's perfect one to end on. As we were talking about Mandalorian and Ted Lasso, would you rather have a show with too few seasons, but they're all good/great, or a show that goes on longer but experiences a sharp decline in quality?
Too few.
Yeah. I think almost everybody will say
say
too
that.
few. I think if there's a slight decline, it's still fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you have a sharp decline,
Yeah.
then yeah, because you feel like you're ruining the past seasons. I mean, we just talked about with Game of Thrones. Almost everybody feels like that show was ruined because of the sharp decline in the last 2 seasons.
I just think of like Arrow and Flash, Supernatural, every CW show where they just milk it for as long as they can, and eventually nobody's watching anymore because it's so bad.
And it's like those. I don't know. Would you say that those have sharp declines? I think they have slow but steady declines, and they go on long enough that you end up in just a really bad place.
I feel like that those
Maybe, but like you had for Arrow for existence. Example. Oh my gosh. Like seasons 1 and 2 were so good. Even 3, it was like started off really good, was kind of a miss more at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4 was a big miss, but then season 5 was awesome. Maybe even the best season.
Oh, whoa.
And then it went on 3 more seasons.
Yeah.
I think you just need to know where you're going to end. It's a really big thing. Like, for instance, we have a new Harry Potter show coming out. They said, we're doing it for 10 years. It's going to be 7 seasons, 1 per book.
Yep.
Like, I think that helps a lot instead of, like, just going, no, we're going to just make Harry Potter stuff for the next 20 years.
Yeah. Or
Right.
saying like
No
we're
end in sight.
yeah, like
Yeah.
or we're making season 1 and we're gonna see if we're gonna make season 2 if it makes money. And then after season 2 comes out, I guess we're gonna make season 3 now.
Or like Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a show that can keep going and going and going. And eventually people are like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. But like, they're not like, okay, season 3 is going to be our last one.
Yeah.
We're telling a story, and stories have endings.
Yeah, I feel the problem I do have though is I feel like 3 seasons is just too short for like any kind of good show. I feel like 5 seasons is like should be kind of the cutoff when you're writing a show. You should have 5 seasons in mind. Like 3 seasons just feels too short.
How many episodes are
I think it's
Ted Lasso?
It's anywhere from 8 to 10.
8 to 10?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in that range.
Okay. That's kind of the new standard.
Here's the question. If Freaks and Geeks got a second season, and it was horrible, would anybody care about that show? That show is regarded as like
one of the greatest shows.
Best because it was just a great one season, and then it got canceled.
Baroque over in the chat says, Into the Badlands should have gotten more than 3 seasons.
Awesome show. Awesome show. I have not finished it.
I see him tweeting about it all the time. It's his favorite show ever.
It got canceled, and I just watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Probably one of the reasons it got canceled. And then I thought it was over, and then just a couple weeks ago, it's like new episodes, and I was like, what the heck? I have stuff I haven't watched.
Oh, it's an AMC show.
Yeah,
it's like
it started like I think
it's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, martial arts in this crazy fantasy world. It's super fun.
Yeah,
all right.
I remember when I was still watching The Walking Dead episode to episode, they promoted that show like crazy.
There's an example of a show that just went on too long.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like, I just feel like that one season or 2, unless it's like you market it as like a limited series,
sure.
Then like one season's fine. Like Chernobyl or whatever. Like that makes sense that it's one season. Like it. Or, John Adams or whatever. So
Chernobyl bomb went off again. Chernobyl returns.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make a TV show, and if it ends up being good, you should have 5 seasons worth of content. 3 seasons just feels so short.
Shows also, unlike movies do this more and more now, have ensembles.
Yeah.
And shows you have the time and space to present a lot of characters. And I think with something like 3 to 5 seasons, you can explore all the different characters, or there's room for growth there beyond just like your main character has an arc over the course of 2 or 3 seasons. It's like, okay, yeah, they have their arc. Now, how does that affect the people around them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm a little nervous about? The Last of Us.
I'm not nervous at all.
I'm just nervous they're gonna be like, okay, we finished season 3, game part 2 is over, and we're gonna keep going with our own characters and do our own thing.
Well, Neil Druckmann's writing it. There's no way. I don't think there's any way. I think part 3 will come out way before season 3 is even wrapped up. Because they're gonna make 2 seasons over the part 2 game. So season 2 is not gonna come out until 2025, maybe 2026.
Probably 25.
Yeah, and then season 3 won't come out until
unless
27.
the writer's strike actually happens and goes on for half a year, then that might slow things down.
But then, season 3 won't come out until 27-ish. There's no way I don't see Last of Us Part 3 not coming out before 2030. Like, that doesn't seem... Because I'm pretty solid that it is happening, so...
I think it will eventually happen. I just think Druckmann's show, and he's right, he's doing another game, and his company is doing 2 other games.
They're all separate divisions, but yeah.
He's still going to be doing, he'll be overseeing. Not that day-to-day overseeing, but he's still involved. So.
Well, he's not involved at all in factions. And I think I don't know what kind of, what he's involved in the new IP that they've said that they're making.
Yeah. He just said it, what was it, the Game Awards, he's writing a new IP game or whatever.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't know. I feel like there's no way that they release season 4. It not be about what I don't see them doing 3 seasons of part 2. I feel like that'd be way too much. But I could also see them doing part 2 of the gap between game 1 and game 2. So, I don't know. I after season 1,
and that would be interesting because it doesn't have any source like it's not.
It has a small amount of source material.
Sure, yeah.
Because there's some flashback stuff that happens.
But you're not gonna have the like, oh, remember this moment from the game, kind of moments in that kind of a part 2.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, you could always do makeup and stuff, but there is like a large gap between part 1 and part 2 with the characters. Like they get much older.
Yeah.
Joel, I mean, you can make Pedro Pascal look old.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
That's not hard.
I mean, they aged him up or aged him down by 20 years.
Yes.
Or whatever
But Ellie, I do think like she needs to look a little. They could probably do it, but
I'm sure.
If they can make a Grogu, use the
Force. My point is, like, I could see them. Because I don't see them coming out with season 2 swinging like part 2 did. I see them taking a little bit more of a break between major plot points, and so. But they
may restructure. I could,
restructure
just knowing the broad strokes of part 2. I could see them maybe trying to restructure that a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, I had a lot of reserves for the TV show, and then it came out, and I was blown away. So I'm pretty now like I trust that they're going to do the right thing. But I would be very disappointed if they do that. If they have a season 4 and just go past the game.
I feel like I have kind of a handle on how companies who really want to make money work.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Just this.
So
this is us milking.
It also does matter what kind of deal Druckmann signed on to. I mean, if
I'm not as worried about Druckmann. I'm more worried about Sony.
That's what I'm saying. If he signed something and said it like you can't make something past what I write, I don't know what he signed because they could very easily. Druckmann's like, I'm not doing anything past 3 because we're still like these are in line with the game, and they even said we're not doing any storylines past what the game did. They already said that, but HBO could.
Said it, but they can do whatever they want.
But HBO could. I mean, they could pull what they did with Game of Thrones and just kick George R.R. Martin to the side. Or
Druckmann, where's the Winds of Winter?
I'm
writing it.
Where's part 3? I mean, yeah, they could do that. Where's part 3? And we're gonna do our own thing. Bye, executive producer.
Yeah.
I mean, because as far as I know, George R.R. Martin was a producer on the show until like season 5. And they kicked him off.
I think even then he still, got credit. He still got some sort of credit.
Well, it's his books. But like he wasn't on set anymore.
Right.
He's writing Elden Ring.
I don't know what he's writing. I don't know what he's doing.
He was like, I'm gonna throw a pot.
Did he do a sci-fi thing too? He did a sci-fi thing for Netflix, I think. Is that right?
The Expanse?
Am I misremembering? Oh, no.
No, that was sci-fi.
I don't know any...
Have you watched The Expanse?
No, I just know it's a really popular sci-fi.
It's so good!
Night Flyers. Night Flyers. It was a one episode or one season thing on Netflix that failed horribly.
It must have, because I've never heard of it.
That's definitely worth holding off the end of the Game of Thrones book series for another 3 years.
3.1 rating.
Out of 5?
I don't know. It's on Google.
Yeah.
So, 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 38% Rotten Tomatoes.
Rough. That's rough all around.
He must have made it for the fans.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, hey, thank you all for watching, tuning in, listening. Easton, thank you for being here.
Yep.
Once again, you can listen to Easton's podcast, The Movie Moron, over on anywhere?
Yeah. It's Spotify podcast, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, YouTube now.
Nice.
But yeah, we just do a new movie a week.
Okay.
And
sometimes like 3 movies.
Yeah, we did a movie draft at the beginning of the year, which was just a draft of what we thought were going to be the best movies of the year.
Yeah.
And
we had Beau's Afraid at number 1.
No. I actually did pick Beau's Afraid, and I'm very mad about it.
Oh, no.
Because I had faith in Ari Aster, and he did not pull through. But Renfield and The Pope's Exorcist were both drafted. Oh. So we had to review both of those.
Yeah, go see them, for sure.
So that's why it was a busy.
All right, what was your number 2, though?
Oh, Beau is Afraid wasn't my number one pick.
You just the draft.
It was it was a
You're
part
not
of my
ranked?
it was a part of my draft. My first pick was Across the Spider-Verse.
Good pick.
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, we did 5 movies. I did Across the Spider-Verse, Barbie, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Beau's Afraid, and then Neapol. The other Joaquin Phoenix movie about the French.
The Napoleon movie?
Yes, I can't. I stutter with his word or with his name, so I couldn't say it. Yeah. So it was one of my later picks, but I was really hoping I was going to get a sleeper pick because all of his other movies were so good. Oh.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah. Cool. So yeah, come listen if you like watching and listening to movies. Yeah. Because we do spoiler free for the first half, so we would have told you not to go watch Beau was Afraid. So you could have. You can listen to us. And you're like, I don't know if I should watch that. We'll tell you what we think, and there's 3 of us, so you get 3 different opinions. Yeah.
Yep, that's good. That's good. Real quick before we head out, we have a first time chatter over in the chat since we're here on Twitch. Darksage 911. I'm just calling you Darksage. Unpopular opinion. I want to see stories around this time period exploring the relationship between the Empire and its various subjects within. Look, we know what has to happen. Vader and Palpatine and how they meet their demise, but I think it would be interesting to see more of the light dark side of the Empire and focus on characters who are not evil but genuinely want what to do is best for the Sith. The issue is Star Wars has pretty much established the anti-heroes are still sort of good guys who work for the Republic. I want to see a show based around someone in the Empire who is no friend of the Republic but is someone who genuinely wants to fight for them and will die trying to make it a better place. That
So like Acolyte?
Acolyte. Yeah. I was gonna say Acolyte kind of seems like that might be
but
right up your alley.
I guess it wouldn't be Empire, but
yeah, that's
it's
High
not,
Republic.
Not quite the right time period, but it's that same vibe.
It doesn't. They end up spoilers. They end up joining the Republic, but Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign starts off with a diehard Empire officer.
Imperial officer.
That is a great campaign.
That is a good campaign.
So I'd recommend that.
I
mean, they do switch sides, but so it's not totally what you want.
I mean, he's just saying he wants something that's like just pure evil side.
That's kind of.
Let's get a story about the dude who's like Palpatine's right hand guy with the giant blue tentacle, the blue Twi'lek guy. He's just always with Palpatine and never says a word. He must have known something was up.
Yeah, he's the guy who's like.
It's like the Chancellor's
trying to like he's like, look guys, he's insane. We know this, but we can't stop him, so we gotta make the best of a bad situation. How do we prevent the most death?
Or
there's gonna be some.
Do the most. Or maybe he's even more evil than Palpatine.
I assumed he knew it all and he was an evil guy. That's just what I assumed.
I definitely think there's room for more stories. One of my favorite threads in the Clone Wars is with Maul.
Yeah, but I don't think Disney will do it. I think that's the problem. I don't think I would not mind this either. I like when they really go into evil characters that are evil. Darth Maul stuff in Clone Wars was always the best. I really like our main antagonist in Rogue One. That's one of my favorite Disney Star Wars movies is Rogue One, and I think he's a big reason why. But I just don't see Disney just following an evil person and just like not trying to ever redeem him and just watching him just ruthlessly kill and murder and have no redeeming qualities and just be like, we just want to watch this guy be bad.
Yeah, there's
not a lot of movie watchers that like that either.
Yeah, I think they get away with it in Clone Wars with Maul because he's never the
bad guy.
Protagonist.
Yeah.
So he's never the hero.
And he even has good...
But he does...
Yeah, he has redeeming qualities.
He's not pure evil. A lot of what he's doing is based on this, like, I've been
manipulated.
I've been manipulated by the Sith. And so, like, I'm not for the Republic, but I'm also, like, I'm here to destroy the Sith, too, and that means kill Anakin Skywalker.
So he's more of a neutral evil and not a chaotic.
Yeah. He's just anti-Palpatine. He's an evil person that wants to take down Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not saying pure evil. Someone who is not all for what the Empire politics are. Someone who, while they may be working for the Empire, wants to make life better for those who live in it. So a light side Imperial who's not evil just to be evil, but we as an audience can't understand.
Gotcha. So kind of what...
a good person. I get that,
so
yeah.
I mean, that's again kind of what Rogue One was. That's what Mads Madolf, Mads' character was. He was somebody that was a part of the Empire and was working with the Empire, but because he had to, but was still, quote unquote, a good person.
Yeah.
And no, I would 100% watch that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And they kind of teeter that a little bit in this last season 3 Mandalorian. Maybe that's why he's bringing it up too. Because in the middle of this, we have the scientist that's like, I was doing good research and they were just funding my research. I wasn't doing it ill intently. They funded it, and like, who else am I going to work for? It's the Empire.
Right.
And he's like, I'm doing things that can save lives. And so, no, yeah, that would be great little...
And that's maybe a little more doable. If
that's what he's talking about, that could definitely be... that could be done.
That could be done in the Disney corporate.
Yes.
You could find a place for it.
And the Empire is very interesting. I think there's a reason why these shows always go back to trying to figure out the order of the Empire, because it's... Obviously, it's a bad force, but it's interesting how, like, because of how vast it is, there's so many different people that are involved.
Yep.
Like, Grand Admiral Thrawn is a huge character that a lot of people love that I think we're eventually getting something on. Yep. That's another piece of the Empire that people really want to see is
How about just
him.
give me the West Wing, but it's, like, on the Death Star.
Yes.
We do not need reality, or not reality TV show. Courtroom shows in Star Wars.
We're trying to run this government.
Yeah.
People, like, and we're dealing with some rebels. Some people hate us, some people like us.
And we're dealing with Darth Vader that just kills our higher-ups because he's mad at them for 2 seconds.
Dude, we get like a taste of that in Andor.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if you did have Darth Vader there as well?
Yeah.
Like, that could be it would not be a whole season of a show that I would want to watch, but, you know, part of an episode, I'm down.
Yeah. The West X-Wing.
Yes.
That wasn't me saying that. That was Baroque. That was
Baroque.
Baroque. I'm not taking credit for that. I just read it down there.
That was a beautiful original joke you just had.
Thank you very much. But we all should be excited for Visions 2 coming out.
Yes.
So, I think that's the best thing
Visions
about...
would be a great place you could do something like that.
Unfortunately...
done
Visions,
like
the first
that.
episode. The dude is a dark Jedi.
He's a Sith.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all uncanon, so none of it matters. There's no...
Your lightsaber is red!
Yeah. I love Visions, but I do deeply hate that it's not canon, because it makes me...
I love that it's not canon.
I love what it makes it able to do,
yeah.
But I hate watching things or reading things that I know don't canonically belong anywhere. Oh. It just makes me upset. Like I like reading old Star Wars books that aren't canon anymore. I'm like, these are so cool, but
they can be your head
doesn't
canon.
Matter. I hate the word. I hate headcanon. I hate that term because people just create whatever they want.
What was it? Late last year or early this year, I had a little rant on the show where I was like, we need to say screw you to canon. Canon is the worst thing to happen to fandom in the last 10 years.
It probably is, because it just makes everything suck. But also, like, that creates a reality that's semi-consistent.
It's very cool how it does provide that consistency. At the same time, it
restricts creativity.
It makes it so narrow.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah. There's good and bad things about it. Because, like, we're creating something fictional, but if you have canon, you create a reality in that fiction. You take out canon, then there's no reality in it, so then it's...
You know how you can avoid canon, though? You go way to the beginning, or way to the end, where you can't touch any of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's just clogging everything.
I don't understand why they haven't gone.
Well, they're going to. James Mangold's going to do the Dawn of the Jedi thing.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That's one thing I'm really excited to watch that. Yeah.
Allegedly, that's happening.
Yeah, but they're also...
Creative differences in 2 years.
Oh,
so.
no.
Let's hope the creative differences is on the Rey sequels.
No, I want that.
Do we really need sequels to a sequel that was already controversial? And yes.
Okay. The answer is yes.
I actually like Rey. She was not the issue of those movies. But,
Writing.
Mm-hmm.
Canon. No.
Rian Johnson.
There's lots of room for finger pointing in Star Wars, and lots of room for news stories. And
no,
I'm looking forward to.
It's all good.
To seeing what comes, even if I hate it. Or
yeah,
if it's not
at the end of the day, more material at least leads to the possibility of something being enjoyable to you. So I totally get that. I have had a hard time at the beginning of the Disney takeover because I loved 1 through 6 so much that I was like,
Even Attack of the Clones?
Yeah. Don't butcher my boy. And they did a lot, but I just had to realize that it's okay. It happened, and I can like other things. Yeah. Like, I got Andor and I got Rogue One out of it, and I even like Solo. I was like, I got that story out of it, so.
Solo is fun for me.
I know. I thought it is too.
I'll throw on Solo as just like something to have on. I'm not going to necessarily sit down and like. Yeah. I can sit down and watch it, but I love just having it in the background.
It's also not supposed to be super serious.
Yeah.
Like, Rogue One is like, I think, the most Star Wars movie since Star Wars. But, the original. But, and Solo's just like, we're just going to have these characters, and they're just going to have a fun ride, and you're going to, like, have these goofy characters that are fun. And everyone's going to have a good time.
Stuff and like,
we
have a little checkbox.
You wish you had fun?
But
I wish I would have had fun.
You didn't have fun?
At any point during that movie.
I hate Solo.
Gosh.
I hate that movie.
Donald Glover as Lando was...
Out of all the Star Wars things that have been made, I'd say that's the only one that's like, no, we did not need this one. Even 9. At least finish the trilogy.
I can't believe...
Solo added nothing. Hey, remember how you got this gun, this generic gun that literally everybody else in the universe has? He found it in the dirt. Who cares?
What? No, he modified a rifle and made it into a pistol.
I don't care. It didn't matter.
How did he get his name? He just made it up. I thought that was stupid.
He didn't even make it up.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was stupid. That was the worst part about the movie was his name explanation. But it's all right.
I think that is probably.
It's all good.
Hey, I think that's the worst Star Wars.
We're going pretty long here. I want to thank everyone for watching and commenting and chatting with us here on Twitch. Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening via the podcast. We'll be back next week to review something. Luke's excited to play that new Star Wars game.
Jedi Survivor. Let's go.
We'll see what he has to say about that, and I'm sure all have watched something, and I think Tyler's even going to be back. So we thank Easton again for hanging out with us and filling in the
thanks for having me.
So
sorry Tyler couldn't join, but
that's okay. He's doing more fun things. He's going to a concert. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.